a forum conducted in Lagos yesterday, Bismarck Rewani, the managing director and chief executive officer of financial derivatives company, said that the government must reduce its debt burden by restructuring and looking for other solutions to allow payment flexibility. Speaking on the topic of corporate resilience, economic recovery from unforeseen pandemics, Rewani remarked that ensuring that the government uses monies granted for developmental projects for the correct purpose is another component that will support the country's economic prosperity. Joining me now for more on this is Haleemah Adediran. She is a financial derivatives company executive in terms of analysis and research. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to have you. Let's talk about Nigeria's debt, because if there's one issue so far this year, and not just with Nigeria, countries like Ghana, Zambia, and a few others, including South Africa, it's all about debt by African countries. So we're looking at about 40 trillion naira right now for Nigeria. So at the end of June, I'm sure we've added a few more. So what factors do you analysts see as far as advising the government to restructure our debt portfolio?
Firstly, the debt of Nigeria is around over 40 trillion naira for now. And we could see that there are no generation of revenue from various sectors of the economy. For instance, the GDP Q2 numbers that just came out showed that there is a slow in the growth of the Nigerian economy, which means that we'll have less revenue in different sectors that are supposed to bring more income or inflows to the government. So I feel the major problem is revenue inflow, which is causing a large amount of government debt in the country. So.
Yes, the inflows, the revenue is short, but the government is borrowing to build roads, and whether it's Sukuk, for example, which the government currently is looking at about 120 billion or so, which the DMO is currently trying to raise. Then you've got the rails that the government is also building. So there's a build-up of debt all across. But again, we have to do some restructuring. Do you think that will be advantageous to us if we call our creditors, like Ghana is doing, for example, and say, look, come guys, it looks like things are tough. We need to rebalance this entire debt portfolio. Do you think there are advantages?
Yes, there are advantages to it, especially on our short-term loans. It will give us an extended period in order to be able to accrue revenue to pay off the credit obligations for those debts. So I think it's a good one for Nigeria because it will give us a larger range of time to prepare for settling the credit obligations.
In layman's language, for me, what you're saying is that, but I'm going to pay you by next year, but I just want to extend it by another 1 year.
Exactly.
Because I'm expecting some money to come in, then I'm going to pay. I'm not saying I'm not owing you. So I agree, but
maybe extended to...
Yeah, just extend it by another 1 year or 2 years. You think that's not too bad, by the way?
That's not too bad. It will give Nigeria to buy more time and to re-strategize in terms of knowing where to invest in order to bring more revenue.
With which I'll be able to pay you.
Exactly.
And that's the way you do it with the banks, by the way. If you owe it, they go there and discuss it. Look at your revenue and all of that and see what you can do. How should Nigeria use our debt effectively?
Is by investing them for the purpose in which they are being borrowed or being gotten. If debt are used for consumptions, it will not bring back yield that could offset those debts. So I think going forward, we should invest the debt into the purpose or for the reasons why they are being gotten in the first place.
I think I get that. You could just borrow money to buy rice. Then after you finish eating the rice, what happens? Where do you get money to? So either you borrow money to plant rice. But is that an issue of currency risk when borrowing from global market or international capital markets? Do you think there's a currency risk?
Definitely there is, because, for instance, if you're borrowing at the rate of 400 naira, let's leave it at that, and you have to pay by 3 months' time, and by that time, the value of $1 to naira is now 800. That means you are paying twice of what you borrowed, and it will be a strain on your revenue. So it's a huge risk.
Yeah. The last time I tasted soft drink, it was still sweet, but. Well, with my age, I shouldn't be doing that, but I hope my doctor is not listening to this conversation. But,
oh, well.
So this tax will mean that the cost of carbonated drinks will likely go up. There are fears of jobs. Do you share those views at FDC? Definitely.
We share the view. Currently, the price of carbonated drink has increased so far in this year over 50%. So it is already a strain on consumer income already and their purchasing power. So increasing it again by 20% is a further strain, which is not necessary. So I feel instead of doing that, the government should extend their tax base. There are some informal sectors that are not being taxed, so they should be incorporated into the tax base, so that they could get more fund from taxing them.
From there, rather than those that, because I'm trying to look at if we have any other. Do you think there'll be other tax from the next administration from next year? Do you think if we have a new government, every new government always
brings in
new things? So do you think we could see a different tax horizon from June next year when you have a new president and say, well, this is where I'm going to do my things?
For now, I do not see.
But Nigeria needs serious revenue, by the way. We've got to put on a new thinking.
That's why the other option that we have is extending our tax base instead of introducing new tax.
Or expanding the ones that are already on the industry.
Yes.
Those who are not paying, let them pay.
Instead of taxing giving the ad valorem tax, which is on the carbonated drinks.
Because that is a drink for the huge population in Nigeria. The man on the street, the Okada riders,
exactly.
the Marwa, they all consume these at the speed
daily
of
basis.
Yes. Because again, the weather. So it's all tight there.
It's all tight there, and it will even bounce back on the economy because it will drive down their demand definitely, and it could bring about a shrink in the output of that sector.
Oh, you're telling me something. So if you increase the ad valorem tax on it,
it will be
so first consume less, but the government is going to come back and still tax the corporate income of the companies.
What I'm saying in essence is that if it is being taxed, in one way or the other, the cost will be passed on to the consumers.
I agree with you.
While that could bring about a shift or a decline in the demand for the commodity.
And if there's a lower demand, then the carbonated drinks producers will produce less. Because somebody's going to buy it.
Exactly.
And if they produce less, government end up collecting lower tax.
Then they might even lay off some workers. So that's why I said it all boils down and it will affect the economy, the general economy at large.
So you think we need to go back to the drawing board and have a second rethink on this whole ad valorem thing before the new year?
Before it is being set
before set on motion.
Yes.
I agree with you. I think we need to have a very deeper conversation on that. But we appreciate your coming in this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And sharing us your views at Financial Derivatives on what you think on this. A major policy because it goes to where the huge population of Nigeria. Because most of the carbonated drinks makers are, except for a few big names, they are SMEs.
SMEs.
Employing 10, 20 people.
Exactly.
Insecurity, I'm going to think about that as well. Because when you start laying these boys and girls, these men off,
it will bring another societal issue entirely. So let's not go into that.
We need to rethink it. Thank you so much. You've got me thinking at the end of the show. Thank you so much. It's good to have you. Haleemah, Adediran, thank you so much from Financial Derivatives Company.